Well, my heart knows it better than I know myself, so I'm gonna let it do all the talking.
Woo! The name of that song by Katie Tunstall is You're Not the One for Me. Would some of you like to sing that song to some of the people in your company? There are three kinds of employees: those that will work, those that won't work, and those that won't quit. Now, I know what you're thinking before I go any farther. What could this woman possibly teach me? She looks like the long-lost love child of Steven Seagal and Demi Moore. Give it a minute, it'll soak in. The look actually is Greek. I'm actually part Greek, part Czech, so I'm cheek, okay? I claim the Greek most because, well, it's my heritage, but I will tell you, the way you know, any of you go to the Greek food festival here, anybody ever see Big Fat Greek Wedding? Okay, that's my family, okay? So now you know our problem. We love to talk and we love to eat. In fact, the ladies in my family love to talk and eat so much, our hips will come around the corner about 5 minutes before we do, okay? In fact, I went to this one Renaissance Fest, which was really nearby here, Scarborough Fair, if you've heard of that. And I went, and this gypsy woman and her little crew comes running up to my group, points me out, and goes, "I can see by those hips, you are so Greek." She said, "But by those hips, I want to make a prediction. Your moon is always in the house of pancakes." Some stress. Stress can cause stress. Can getting people to own their jobs cause you stress too? Possibly. Look at the looks of all of you. Some of you look stressed, I'm going to have to say. You know how you can tell you're stressed? You go home to make a phone call and you dial 9 to get outside your own home, okay? Now, some of you are not laughing because you go, "That's not funny," because I do that, right? But to me, that's not real stress. Real stress is when you end the day wearing a thong, but you did not start with one, okay? And I'm not seeing a whole lot of laughter from a few of you, okay? I just want you to check the little barometer there on stress. In fact, why don't we just, in the spirit of owning our presence here, in the spirit of owning our jobs, why don't we lighten up just a little bit? Why don't you turn to someone sitting next to you? Why don't you smile really big, and with gusto, could you please say, "I have a wedgie." Go ahead. One. Some of you, if you do not know by now in your career what a wedgie is, maybe one of your colleagues will uplift you before the end of the session. Would you like to know how to get other people to own their jobs? I would like to tell you that a lot of it has to do with you first. You have to get your own oxygen before you can get others to get their oxygen. You've got to learn what energizes you. Coming from a Greek background, I have to tell you how I have a really lot of great Greek relatives. My grandfather, for starters. He wasn't a very tall man, but he said you measure a person's height from here up. I like that. I like to expand that and say, from here up, the heart, the mind, and the soul. I suspect I'm surrounded by a lot of very tall people here today, am I right? Yeah. I love to be in the presence of lifelong learners, but at the same time, it's a little bit scary because we're the people that are impatient for progress, aren't we? Aren't we? Aren't you the kind of people that stand in front of the microwave oven and yell, "Hurry!" You're type A, right? How many of you self-avowed type A? How many of you type A? You know there's two. There's type A and then there's extreme type A. See, type A are people that come over to your house and tell you your toilet paper is rolled the wrong way, okay? Extreme type A won't say anything, but will secretly flip every roll in your house. And we know who you are, okay? We know who you are. But I want to tell you that the passion starts with the inner self. For instance, my grandfather, he had a passion to own his life, which transcends into everything we do. He wanted to come over on the boat to Ellis Island and own his world and own his life. Before he did, though, I have to tell you, he wanted to have a great life, so he wanted to marry my grandmother. Now, marriage customs have changed a little bit. You know, these days it could take 6 months, a year, you get a wedding planner, you get a wedding, whatever started. My grandfather, no, very different. Wedding customs, very different back in the old country. Saw my grandmother from 100 feet away, sitting on her donkey and said, "That's the girl for me." Now, how many guys in this room thought, "Well, that's easy, Kelly, you know, back then to get married, donkey, done deal." You love that? And ladies, how easy for us to get married back then. All we had to do was sit on our donkey. All right, I'm going to ring that. There we go. I'd like to also give you a little bit of what I like to call bonus information, all right? How about a quick listening tip? Just because you've been sitting here today, you have a tendency to tune in and tune out. You know, like they do on the airlines. I know you've heard that before. You've got to make sure if you want people to own their jobs that they're with you before you even start talking with them, you know? But I love the flight announcement.